Hello, everybody. Welcome back to In Our Humble Opinion. I'm Chachi, and we're going to go over week five. I believe it was week five, right? Yes. Okay, we're going to go over week five's games in action. Sorry, didn't mean to highlight that. This is Tom's here too. Tom, say hello.
Hey, what's up? Good morning, folks.
All right, I guess we'll start with the Thursday night game. What did you think of the Bears at the Commanders?
Yeah, I think my only takeaway from this one, I didn't really watch a ton of it. Just kind of looked at a few of the highlights in the box score. You know, everyone stopped with the Justin Fields, like, overhyping him. He played a good game for the first time in a while. It was great to see they actually used DJ Moore. Not sure why that took as long as it did, but, you know, let there be a full season and then we start to really judge. But don't overhype him and don't sit there and crush him either. But the Commanders, they're interesting. I think I honestly don't. Ron Rivera just doesn't seem like that guy's it as a head coach, and they got a lot of talent. I don't understand why it's not manifesting in more wins there.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that Washington, it's odd because they're a very talented team. Even Hal's been pretty impressive. I know he had that four pick game, but he's shown a lot of consistency. He's definitely he's a gamer. I like him. Justin Fields, I feel the same way. I think Bears don't do what I think you're thinking of doing, which, like you said, wait the whole season. If you get a new coach, let him pick your. If you get the one and two picks, please don't be like, oh, their quarterback's perfect, and then you get two people, and then you passed on a couple quarterbacks that you could have took. Okay, don't make the same mistake twice. Not saying Justin Fields doesn't have talent, he does, but two game sample size is a little crazy to go off of. Let's see. Okay, because you know what I've noticed, Tom, they they adjusted their game plan to incorporate his running again. Teams are going to adjust to that because you had him sitting back the first few weeks. Let's see how he plays after, like, oh, so you're doing this run and two read thing that you keep doing. We're going to take away those and stop the run. They're going to do that. So we're going to see what you got. If he can do this for the whole year, rest of the year, okay, absolutely. But like you said, also not too much hate either. He's still a young QB, and that team is a mess. And the most important thing you said, I'm just echoing your stance on it. DJ Moore does play for your team. It's nice that you throw him the ball, and he was in bounds. That was a terrible call. It should have been a touchdown too. I don't know what they were doing, the refs, but that's fine. Anyway, good job by the Bears. Washington, like Tom said, I'm Ron Rivera might be done because there's a couple coaches we'll get into guy with a lot more hardware, but they're kind of out of this new era of football. They don't go with it. The way their styles, everything, they kind of got it. It might be time for them to go. Ron Rivera might be one of them. Need a little more innovation. Team has way too much talent. Chase Young, it's like, are you guys even trying to like move him around? I don't know. It's weird. But ready to go to the second game, Tom?
Yes, sir.
Jags at Bills. This was actually in London, right? If I'm not mistaken. Uh,
Heck yeah.
I watched a little bit of that game as well. My thing is the Jaguars are very talented. You can see that. ETN's very good, and of course Trevor Lawrence. Everyone knows that. But Calvin Ridley really having a nice comeback season. Their offense is getting going, and the Bills, they're just so up and down. They have games where they look great, like against Miami, and then they have games where you're just like, what happened? It's so weird. They're such a weird team. Their offense, it's either 100, it's either 40 points or it's struggled most of the game. It's odd. Josh Allen is a great. He has his great games are great, but his mistakes he always makes them like at the worst time. It's so weird. And the worst red zone picks. It's just not consistent enough with certain things. What do you think?
Yeah, no, the Bills injuries killed them on defense. They lost a lot of really good
Yeah,
players. It's just not
Milano, that was a big
good.
one. Yeah.
Um, I'm also just super concerned about, I guess, I don't understand what offensively, yes, they're inconsistent. They rely a lot on the passing game. Passing games hit or miss are really finding a lot. There's not a lot of teams that, unless you really establish a run game, your passing game's kind of meh.
No, I agree.
Or just variations of it. I think the thing that's super interesting, the Jags seem to either play up or down.
Oh,
Them.
good.
Um,
Okay. Cut out for a second.
Yeah, sorry, my AirPods are being
Uh,
annoying
You're okay.
this morning. I mean, one thing I thought that's kind of garbage is like, Jags stayed over there.
Hmm.
They got a rhythm. I thought it was ridiculous from my standpoint that it's definitely a home field advantage. It's hard to travel all the way over there, get your body somewhat adjusted. People haven't really figured it out yet.
No, I agree.
And you could tell they looked fresher. It's just hard, man. It's a different time. You're playing at a totally different time of day. There is
Yeah.
definitely an advantage there too, but the Jags are a contender, and they're starting to kind of get a little warmer. I agree. Like the Calvin Ridley thing, it was interesting because everybody kept saying in Atlanta is a good trade for them, but I'm not really so sure. I think Atlanta could have really used a weapon like him. I don't think they have a quarterback that can get him the ball, but I guess it's tough. But good for him and his comeback. I mean, the whole gambling thing in the NFL, and they make it about as clear as mud. It's kind of frustrating that this guy lost a year of football for betting on his own, for doing a FanDuel betting on his own team. So, but whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, the NFL, we support gambling,
Right.
but
Every
also
other
if you
commercial.
put
Yeah.
one
Right.
penny down,
Guys,
good
come on.
old. But yeah,
No,
that's my takeaway. That's tough for the Bills. I agree, they're inconsistent. I still think they're a super tough team.
I think.
They'll figure it out. But those injuries are definitely,
I
dude. Losing
think. I
Milano
think
is
they.
gonna hurt
I
them.
think they really got beat up in this game, which is sad. And like you said, the the time difference and everything is difficult. It's very weird. That's why when they're talking about putting a team over there, unless you make a whole nother like world division where it's all the teams in Europe playing, and I think maybe make them play. This is a bit far into the future. Eventually, you have like a AFL, NFL kind of deal at the end of the year. That's the only way I could see that working because there's no way they would have such an advantage at home. The other teams would just come in so tired. It would not work. It really wouldn't.
I
And
say just play down an aircraft carrier in the middle of the Atlantic.
like that basketball game they did in the NCAA a
Yep,
couple of years ago, that was so
it's the
funny.
only way to do it.
But you're right. I can't put it all on Josh Allen because he is a talented player. They don't ever help him. They always want to throw every play. You're right. They come out chucking the ball. Like you guys know, you play in Buffalo, right? Eventually, it's gonna get that weather's gonna be up there where you can't
Well,
throw like that. You got to run the ball a little bit, like you said.
well, they went and got Damian Harris from New England, and they got you have Cook's brother.
Hmm.
Like, establish a run game. Let these, like, I'm tired of watching the NFL. I mean, we'll get into it with the Packers, too. It's like these offenses are so predicated on the run and doing things, and they don't do it.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
unbelievable, and you see a team like San Francisco, and you're like, they make it look so dang easy
And
because they scheme it. They have they invest in guys that can actually help do, everything in their offense is predicated on a great running game.
well, not only
And
that,
that's why Brock Purdy right now is on fire.
and
I
they
guarantee you, if you say Brock Purdy throw it 60 times in a game, the outcome's going to be way different.
not only that they understand. McCaffrey wasn't getting like 8 yards a carry or anything like that in that Cowboy game, which we'll get into later. But he they kept establish. You got to establish the run too. Even if you're not getting a lot of yards, you got to keep doing it so they know, hey, they'll run the ball. We can't come out of our safeties being down in the box. We can't stop blitzing because if we do, they're going to start gashing us. We got to play. We got to do that because a lot of teams they'll get like a couple carries don't work. They're like, oh, we can't run anymore. So like you said, throw 50 times. It's you got to keep it established. You got to keep the defense on its heels because if they can just pin their ears back, you're in trouble.
Yep. All right, what's the next one?
Next game was Tech. This was a fun one. Texans at Falcons. That was a night. That was a crazy game. The ending was wild. Stroud still looks really good, and Atlanta's exciting. Bajan's impressive, but two impressive rookies in that game, and two teams that are up and coming. Honestly, they're very well-rounded teams, playing pretty well for a beginning of the year too. But like you said, my one issue with the Falcons, the quarterback position. Now Ritter played well in this game, but generally he's been hit or miss. And like you said, it seems like he has to get hit a little bit and get into the game to start getting a feel. And they have too many weapons. Even though Kyle Pitts did have a pretty good game, so you got to see him. So I think maybe, like you said last time, they need to utilize him more, and I think they listened to everybody that was kind of giving him crap for it. I know he put out a bad film. I know people were showing that, but also when you don't get the ball, you do kind of loaf a little bit. And not only that, his knee is still recovering, and that was a tough injury. And that's the coaching staff's problem. If a guy's injured and you can see that he can't play, you need to not put him out there. need to tell them. Sometimes they're players; they're gonna try to play through stuff. That's just how they are. I mean, hell, the guy for the Njoku burnt his face and played. Did you see that? That oh my god, that dude is tough.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, no, yeah, the Texans definitely that team. That's going to be a tough team for years to come. I love the D'Amico Ryan's hire. It's just awesome.
That division looks so good this year. Now they're tough. A lot of tough teams.
Yeah, they actually hired coaches that I mean, we'll get into this when we talk about Bill Belichick and I'd even say John Harbaugh, like how the game,
yeah,
look, the NFL stands for not for long. A guy like Andy Reid, why he's lasted as long as he's had, his game has evolved. He's evolved with what the NFL is, right? He's a big-time players coach that takes input and understands where the game's going.
Yep.
And the same with like D'Amico Ryan's. I'll even give Arthur Smith is a really brilliant play caller. I mean, I don't know why he had to get angry at the media for stating the obvious of, hey, let's not get the ball to Kyle Pitts and Drake London. Amazing. Your offense actually looks good when you get it to your weapons.
Yeah, no one should have had to tell him that. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, again, you're paying those guys, they need to be used. They need the ball. You got to feed them. And I get it. There's teams that are going to scheme it. They're going to try, but, you have an elite tight end in the NFL. Like, for the love of God, use him. Like, it's just, it's mind-boggling to me,
Mm-hmm.
And you saw the results, and it's awesome. I'd love to see Kyle Pitts succeed because, dude, the guy's a freak athlete.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely. He could be really, really good. But, Desmond Ridder actually looked calm, making, in rhythm. It was nice to see. So, I'm not going to sit there, too. A lot of the Falcon fans around here in Atlanta are like, hey, everybody needs to, hey, he's got this. Everybody needs to pipe down. And it's like, well, it's one game. Okay, let's start there. And it's about time.
Yeah,
number one.
Yeah.
Okay? I will give you this stat that is awesome about Desmond Ridder. He is undefeated at home as a starter. And that's really different from prior Falcon teams. I'd say when the prior years living down here, the Falcons at home were awful. Like, it was actually a disadvantage to play at home.
That is a wonderful stadium, too, so it's awesome to play all.
It's gorgeous. Like, I mean, it's unbelievably well done. It's just amazing. But, yeah, so... And the Falcons' defense is no joke. It's for real. They can make plays. They invested a lot there. They should. Jesse Bates is the real deal. That was probably one of the best free agent signings all offseason.
Also, Mr. Campbell, he's a good team leader. That was a great signing, Calais.
He doesn't. You're starting to see him age, but exactly, it's the leadership, and he does the right things. So.
Oh, and he's still a run stuffer, man. He still gets in there and stops the run. I mean, yeah, his pass rushing is kind of passing, but he's an old guy, man. You just need him. He brings your team together. The mistakes that young teams make, if you have him on there, he keeps your guys. He's a great leader, man. I miss him on the Ravens.
So, all right.
All right, next one. Okay, so I accidentally skipped it. It was Titans at Colts, and I got to tell you, man, the Colts. I'm gonna let you go first, but I just gotta say the Colts are a tough team, man. The only thing I gotta say, Anthony Richardson, really talented, showing a lot of promise. But you gotta realize it's the NFL. You cannot run over all these people. You're gonna get hurt each time. Okay, it's hard. They hit. You're big, but they're bigger. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Richardson, I think once people start figuring him out, he ain't going to last. It's just, you can't. You're not Jalen Hurts, who's actually tough, but also smart. He's got, though, all the talent, though. I mean, that's what's so frustrating. It's like, dude, when are you going to learn, man? But, hey, when all your life you're the fastest out on the field and all of a sudden you're not, I'm sure it's hard, a humbling reality. So, but yeah, I mean, the Colts are just like, man, Gannon's got them. Is it Gannon? No, his offensive coordinator from the Philly or whatever that went there, man. Love his scheme. Just love, again, it's a new era of the NFL. Gardner Minshew is really tough. They understand how to get to the playmakers.
Defense is really good.
Their offensive line is playing better because, again, they established the run. They're establishing the run.
Without Jonathan Taylor, yeah.
Yes, with Zach Moss. He looks amazing.
No, that's going to be a good one, too, now, because they run the ball.
Yeah, and, that's what I hate when, these teams, everybody keeps talking about, last year everybody was dogging on this Colts offensive line. It's because they weren't doing what they're built to do and designed to do.
Well, Tom, you played line. You know how that is. Running, a lot more when they run a lot than pass blocking every play. It's hard.
Yeah, no, you got to, and the NFL now is a lot about eye candy, doing different things, and again, you have to establish the run in this day and age at the speed of these linebackers, and also like they're big, they're taller, right? We'll get into it with how like what's going on in Green Bay, but again, like when you establish a run and you get linebackers biting and they're biting on different play actions and jet sweep motions and all these different things that these teams do, it it makes massive holes and also helps open up so many massive throwing lanes in the pass game. So
Yeah.
Tennessee, like, dude, it was a really good game. I mean, dude, Tennessee is just
Another tough team. Oh my God. Hey, Tannehill's always going to be consistent. He's a very it's like Kirk Cousins but more clutch. I feel like he's more clutch. But it's the same kind of guy. He's really good. And then their defense is always tough every year because of Rabel. The team's just tough. They're just a tough team. And DeAndre Hopkins was really good. He's been killing it for them.
Dude, it makes you wonder what in the world was going on. I'm sorry. What's his face down in Arizona last year?
Kyler Murray?
No, the head coach.
Oh,
Just,
not Kyler
what are
Murray.
you doing?
Kingsbury, yeah.
Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury. My goodness, man. And you watch that Hard Knocks series, and it's like, but man, it's like your offense, that kind of air raid offense. It's like, and we'll get into it with Arizona. I mean, Arizona, they play so tough because they run the ball with John Connor, the Terminator. I mean,
even after he got hurt,
Connor actually looks really good. Until he got hurt.
They still did go with the backup. I mean, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, again, the NFL is moving back towards the run game, and again, hitting edges with speed and power, and having tight ends that can block and do things, and
Yeah.
Yeah. Tennessee too. I mean, again, it's early. Like these teams can just stick around. That was a good game, close divisional game, and it was a fun game.
Dude, those teams in the AFC South are just all tough. They are not teams you want to play, man. They're going to give you a dogfight every time. I think that's going to be the most consistent division as far as like every team is a tough team to play. Like I don't think you're going to have a terrible team in that division, like where you're like they're crap. It's just going to be like, oh, they're all really decent. They're hard to beat. And those games like that one are going to be physical. The division games are going to be physical and really good watches. Like NFL, you might want to start putting them on a lot of your like primetime games because I'm telling you, that's the way to get people love physical football. That is fun to watch. By the way, Brent's their corner. That guy looks really good. Juju Brent's really good player. Tough as nails. I really like him. He is a physical corner. You don't see that a lot. So
yeah.
You ready to go to the next game?
Man.
Yeah. Panthers at Lions. I'm going to let you go, Tom, but first, Lions. Bears also an L. David Montgomery goes to the Lions, and now he's a really good running back because, like Tom said, guess what they do? Yeah, Tom, say it.
No, yeah, I mean, they established a run. They got really good. Again, their offensive line is really good, but like Laporta and the other tight end, right? I'll tell you, I don't think Hawkinson was ever the best run blocker. That's why he exited from that team. Again, you saw plays where they're able to get to the edge with David Montgomery.
Montgomery used to be a Bear, right? I'm not wrong about that, right?
The Lions, I'm going to say this, though.
Early. Yeah, it's early. It is.
Yeah, they're doing great. They're beating teams they should beat.
It is an 0-5 team.
I think they have a lock on this division, barring some crazy injuries. I'm going to say this, though, offensively. Man, they're giving away some plays. They're like showing stuff on film that team you're going to prepare for when it matters. Not sure this time of year you should be showing some of that. Like they did the double reverse to Laporta. It's great, but dude, you're beating the crap out of the Carolina Panthers. Like that's a game. You know what? Fundamentally, just get better at the base plays you need to get better at. Maybe put a couple wrinkles in there, but I wouldn't show it all.
No, that's ain't the time. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a little concerned about that, and I still don't think their secondary is very good.
No, me either. No.
And Adam Thielen, he had he had a career day out there, and he's just torching them.
And he's on his last legs too. Yeah. Even though he was,
he's older, but and the Panthers fought in that game too, and
yeah.
So,
I don't get the criticism of Bryce Young. I like his gutsiness because that line is terrible too. That man is in there, hanging in there, making plays. They're just talent wise right now. They got a long way to go, but I like what I see. They play
Yeah,
tough.
and I don't want to sound though too like I'm a Lions hater. I'm not. I just like I know the Lions fans are excited.
I think
It's
you.
just
I think
it's just guys like stop hyping this team up
no,
like
no,
they're
no.
the the
I
85
think
Bears.
I think
They're
you have
not.
I think you have the right mentality though. You got to see it first, right? So you want to
Well,
show me, right?
it. Well, exactly. But remember, Jared Goff, when it gets late in the year, it gets cold. You got to go. At the end of the day, they're not going to be the number one seed in the NFC,
No,
right?
no,
You
no.
know, when it gets cold, I want to see what this team does in the cold
Yeah.
when people are loading the box up and saying, okay, you want to try to establish the run so you can do play action with Jared Goff. Remember, Jared Goff didn't do that much in that Green Bay game.
No, no,
He
no.
really did
No,
not.
you're right.
He threw, and he's always struggled outdoors. Not knocking Jared Goff, but
Oh
that
no, he's a fantastic
he
quarterback.
sucks outdoors.
Yeah.
And I just like it's gonna come down to him. That's how teams beat that team.
Yeah.
So they shut the run down. I just don't, but they're establishing something. That is for sure. And it's definitely I love Dan Campbell and what they're doing. So,
No, I do too.
but that's it for that game, man. I mean, there's not really much to say. It was a blowout, pretty
I
bad.
I feel like this one's even gonna be quicker. The Saints at the Patriots. Hey man, Belichick he looks lost. I get Mac Jones is not great. Okay, I do, but good lord. Now the Saints defense is impressive. Believe me, they're very good. They're very good. I think that's gonna make them a contender all year. But it was a bloodbath. It looks bad. Mac Jones has regressed tremendously from his first season. Defensively they're solid, but now they got to deal with injuries too, and that's really hurt them. So they're a mess.
I think, yeah, I think what I'm starting to see, not the steamroller, Josh, sorry.
Oh no, you're up. I was done, man. You're up. Go ahead.
Bill Belichick's the GM, the head coach.
GM's my problem. Yeah.
I don't think he should be a GM anymore. Because like if you go watch their left tackle Trent Brown. Just watch like some plays in that game. That is not a starting NFL left tackle right now. They're paying him a lot of money, right? And like right now, I won't put all the blame on Mac Jones. There are players not playing to the level.
No, I agree.
And it's hard when you don't have Tom Brady there.
Yeah.
To be the leader and saying, because Tom Brady will be the voice of this guy is not playing anymore, right? And the Patriot way is really hard now. If you're putting that out there on film, right, and putting those guys out there. So, I mean, again, the NFL is not for long. I truly think at some point though, like where I don't understand Bill Belichick and what he's doing is why Matt Patricia was an offensive coordinator.
That's crazy.
He came back. Like there's just some things I just think the game's passed him by. In terms of he wants to do things his way. He's very stubborn, and he should be. He has 7 Super Bowls, right? Or 6. Clearly, it's tough to at the end of a guy's career. It's just tough. I think, again, the message has gotten old, and sometimes it's time. That's what Bill Walsh had to deal with too. They really started to struggle, and they got a different kind of staff in there that was able to somewhat replicate what happened. And they ended up winning one more. I mean, that's what Green Bay had to do with Mike McCarthy.
No,
they brought a guy in that was a little bit more innovative than Mike McCarthy is, right?
Uh-huh.
And it actually helped. It rejuvenated a bunch of players that just weren't playing to the standard.
Uh-huh.
I would be curious if you saw, a Nick Sirianni in New England, how different that team might be.
True.
So, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think the Patriots are at this crossroads, and Robert Kraft, I mean, I hope Bill gets his 300th. I really do, because he deserves it. He's one of the GOATs.
Absolutely.
I don't care what anybody says about him being a dick, whatever. But man, it sucks that he held on too long.
Yeah.
And this is where it sucks. It's kind of like the Aaron Rodgers thing, and even Favre. It's sometimes you hold on too long, and it's why, dude? Go out on top. Go out being.
Be a legend, yeah.
Yeah, go out. It stinks when, even I guarantee you those Patriot fans hate that Tom Brady's last pass was that pick in that playoff game.
Yeah.
But,
yep.
All right. We said it would be quick, but it was actually a really good talking point.
It was. It was. It's because there's a lot to talk about. And like you said, I don't think anyone criticizing him is wrong because your problem is the talent on the team, right? But it's like he picked it. Like you can't make these egregious mistakes. Even something as small as right, Jacoby Myers is having a really good season for the Raiders. You could have got him back for less than they paid probably, but you chose Juju, who is being paid more than him, but not by much, but still more. And the production's just not there, bro. Like,
Yeah. Well, and you got a question too. Like what I question is when you start talking about why did Jacoby Myers say I'd rather go to Las Vegas?
yeah, exactly.
When they're getting rid of Derek Carr and it's clearly that front office is a disaster. He would rather go there.
That's wild.
Because
Yes.
I think he understands that hey, he can have the stats and be an actual contributor versus what's going on in New England. And that's part of like again, sometimes you just gotta have you gotta have a leadership change or a real cultural discussion on what's going on. And again, the Patriot way has to evolve into something different.
No, really.
What worked in 2007 does not work in 2023.
Absolutely
it's
not.
a totally different generation of players and kids. So,
absolutely.
That's what I mean. Like even Bill Parcells, remember what happened in Dallas?
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing. Like that discipline, that being trying to keep it PG, but being a hard ass. It just at times it doesn't work.
No.
And you have to there's a difference between like establishing accountability with your personality versus like this old school methodology and again you're trying to build a culture in that locker room and accountability.
Yeah. No.
And it's hard when everybody's probably snickering behind Bill Belichick's back. They respect him because of what he did. But now, are things going through one ear out the other?
Yeah.
Because you're not connecting with the players the way you need to.
And the message isn't leading to your methods aren't leading to victories. Before you were winning Super Bowls, so it's like, hey, what am I to question this man? He's winning us Super Bowls. Now it's like, bro, we're getting like door stomped 2 weeks in a row. We scored 3 points.
No, it's brutal, man. And I hate to say it, I think you could see potentially him be let go earlier than the end of the year.
Well, like you said,
crazy.
Kraft's going to have to make the hard decision because you're going to have to, if you're going to do it, you got to do it. You got to take the backlash.
I think there's been a healthy tension there for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think now it got bad because like Robert Kraft wanted Tom around longer.
Yeah.
And you saw Tom still had enough left to offer. You needed to build a team with talent.
Yeah.
And you needed to support him with like what Tampa did. And I think Bill Belichick forced his hand out.
No,
and it happens, right? Because Bill's not wrong. It's kind of like Green Bay. You were at this weird crossroads with a legend. But at some point you can't invest all in. But that was so interesting because like, dude, if you get one more of Tom Brady, you guys could both walk out and just say, hey, we're done together.
No, I feel like it was a little different in the fact that Tom never was trying to make you pay like the most money or anything. He was just he wanted a winner. And, it was a little different. You didn't want to give away a little bit of control, it seems like. Could be wrong. You want to give away a little control as far as like, hey, Bill, maybe we should sign this guy. Bill, maybe we should get this guy. The thing that spoke volumes to me is Gronkowski didn't go, hey, I'm going to stay. He said, I'm going to go where Tom goes. Okay. So they kind of told you his loyalty. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, every one of those players, even people that played under Bill Belichick in the Patriot way, they hated it. But there was results.
Yeah,
right?
you can't speak against it.
And you trust the process. Now that trust is eroding away, right? And trust is the foundation of any culture you have, no matter what you do.
No, absolutely.
Whether it's a marriage, whether it's a company, whether it's a group of friends, right? When that erodes away and you don't trust the process anymore, and it's not working, you're not seeing not just wins, but you're not even seeing progression.
Oh, yeah. No.
That's when it starts to get a little bit. That's when the culture erodes.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And you have to, as a leader, again, either you have to identify how we change, or do I put people in, honestly, like if you think Mac Jones is the issue, start Bailey Zappi. Set the tone of like, no, you know what? That's not tolerated here. right? Like this is the philosophy I have. I understand, hey, we don't have players that can do this and this, but put people in, yeah, there's been just a lot of bad personnel decisions, and I just think the culture's eroded. There's no trust anymore in whatever the Patriot way is. I don't know if it exists. So the identity's gone, and the question is, how do you build up a new one? And I think that means a new leader. So otherwise, we could go in all day. But
yeah, next game is going to be Giants at Dolphins. Good time. I'll let you go first, but the Giants, man, they ain't looking too swift as always.
No, I mean they're another one. They got, I think their front office they're trying to justify Daniel Jones to a point, but they didn't have really a choice. There's no quarterback market.
Yeah.
I'm sure they were trying to get Derek Carr and stuff. It just didn't work. But at the end of the day, he is what he is. Everyone's figured out, hey, this guy wants to run. He makes one read, two reads, and he goes. I've heard from Giants fans we have a tough schedule, and I'm like, I understand that, but Daniel Jones was never any good last year. They played a terrible schedule last year.
Yeah.
And, I think just a new offense, teams didn't know how to play it. And, now that everybody has a game plan and Saquon Barkley's hurt,
that hurts
they really
a lot
don't have
too,
receiving talent.
No.
I think the most damning thing for them is their offensive line is absolute trash.
It's bad.
Like, it makes no sense because they're actually solid players. Other than Neal, I don't like him. I never
Neal's
did.
Trash. Yeah, he's been terrible.
I mean, Neal should be benched if I'm.
Yeah.
Again, I know you. I'm sorry. Even just as a kind of cultural thing of like, number one, you're not calling out fans that way.
No.
You're playing terrible, but. A head coach also has to go to bat for his players too. So defensively too, I think like Wink Martindale sometimes, man, it's just I get your aggressiveness, but this day and age in the NFL, when people are trying to get you into space and you're just being aggressive and so aggressive that hey, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna just pray that hey, I get the pressure there faster than this ball gets released. It just doesn't work.
No.
This day in the NFL anymore.
It's too easy to get people open, so it's hard blitzing like it's not going to work. Yeah.
Dolphins' biggest concern is they got again you have all this speed, people start getting hurt.
Acne, yeah.
That's what you're starting to see.
A-Chain, I'm sorry,
they're
A-Chain.
a finesse team. They're good. Speed kills, but sometimes you need more Mustangs and you need all these Ferraris. So
I want to see how they play without him. I know Mostart's had a really good season too, but A-Chain really brought like a new kind of like dimension. That dude was averaging. Did you see his average? He was averaging what, like 11 yards a carry or something crazy.
No, it's ridiculous. Well, and he's almost like this really fast slot player, like a Percy Harvin, or faster, to be quite frank. Like,
there's a guy you just brought up. A guy. Oh man, I could go all day about that. Man, if he didn't have migraines.
That's how they're really using him. Yeah, it's very, and again, it's all, if you compare the two offenses, the San Francisco and this one, again, they can just do so many things. This one's more of a pass happy. They can do a lot of cool things.
Yeah.
But like I said, man, Tyreek Hill, he's pretty, a reliable player. So is Waddle in terms of injuries. I mean, Tua, you got to be concerned. Mostert is the same thing. When he's healthy, he's good.
When he's healthy, yeah.
So,
honest.
Yeah, that's what the Dolphins. I mean, they're going to be in it all the way to the end. It's just a question of can they stay healthy enough where they can actually be a pain in the butt for in the playoffs.
I've been dreading this, man. Ravens at Steelers, yeah. So let me vent. Let me vent. Listen. Okay, you dropped like 7 balls. Okay, listen. You cannot blame the quarterback. I heard that. This is why I don't like the national media. You did not watch this game. There is no way you can blame the quarterback. If you catch the ball, if your players catch the ball, that is a 24-3 game, and we're not having this conversation at all. You let a team. Wait a minute. The Steelers, giving them credit though. You capitalized on what happened, and most teams don't do that. Kenny Pickett made a hell of a throw to George Pickens, and George Pickens was eating up everybody. He is him. He is a great receiver. Kenny Pickett showed some guts, and that defense did what it does when you give when they need to. T.J. Watt at the end of that game was like, "Listen, you ain't winning this game. I'm gonna strip you, and then I'm gonna sack you at the end of the game. Okay, and that's it. They did amazing. Give them credit. Won a tough division game when they needed to. Ravens, you don't show up when you need to. You're sloppy. You don't deserve to win the game. I'm not mad about it. I'm glad they lost. They need to learn a lesson. You can't come in there sloppy like that. The other team's gonna beat you. It's just how it works. You came in there. You didn't put someone away in their house. You let the fans get back into the game. You let momentum flip. And Tom, you know more than anybody. Once momentum flips in a football game, you can try, but it's not coming back, buddy. And Joey Porter Jr., a heck of a play, because 90% of corners that would have just been incomplete because they would not have turned around for the ball. My man said, "Listen, that ain't working. I got you." Picked it off. Big play. Great play by him. Hey, run the ball at the goal line too, guys. I don't know what the Ravens were doing. You guy fumbles the football, and you're like, John Harbaugh's like, hey, and I don't want to hear about the coordinator. I'm tired of him getting a pass. You are the head coach. You could sit there and be like, nah, why are we running a sweep play at the 3 yard line? Like, what? You don't run sideways when you have 3 yards to go for it. After Gus got like 3 yards to first run, just run Gus up the middle 3 times. You kick the field goal, you go up 13-8 at worst, and if you score, the game's pretty much over. Honestly, though, Steelers deserved to win. At the end, they made the plays you had to. The Ravens didn't. Okay, that's it. Nothing to talk about. Catch the ball, guys. I mean, let's go. Let's go. Good, Tom.
He said hashtag don't suck. No, yeah, exactly. I mean, you cannot. Yeah, you can't do those things at the end of the day,
And
right?
expect to win. No.
Like that's the kill. Like you gotta, those are gonna kill you, and this is the thing in the NFL. Defense still matters. Like I hate, like you saw with the Jets, you're seeing even with Pittsburgh, that defense is elite. Like Pittsburgh's offense is just.
Yeah, let me say too. I'm not making fun of the Ravens. The Ravens defense played great. That's why I didn't bring them up. They have nothing to be ashamed of. Even the touchdown at the end, it's like you had them on the field half the game because you guys couldn't catch the ball, or it was a mess. They tried. They ran out of gas, and it's fine.
It's just no. I mean, from the. Yeah, I mean the Raven. Again, yeah, I agree with you, John Harbaugh. It's like, come on, guys. At some point.
Well, it's like you want to blame Linderbaum, and I understand on that play. He was saying he saw the guy jump and he hiked it. But if you're a good coach, you go, listen, we're not hiking the ball there. He's going to hard count like 14 times, and if they don't jump, we're kicking the field goal. That's it. That. Why'd you give? Never mind. He always gets a pass for other people's to say, oh, it was the offensive coordinator. It was this guy. Dude, what do you do then? And I like John Harbaugh. What do you do if you don't, like, you're the coach? Like, what are you doing? Bro, they come into some of these games, too, like, lackadaisical. Like, they didn't practice all week. I don't know what's going on. I don't. It's weird.
I do.
And London especially, that's why I'm worried about this game.
No, again, it's a changing culture. It's in all seriousness. You have to. Yeah, it's just you have. Anyways, there's got to be a culture change. That's all. Or again, sometimes change is not the worst thing. That's like, and John Harbaugh's been there a long time. But honestly, these are the same things over and over, and it's like, hey, Pittsburgh's a tough game, right? You have to be on point. There's young guys that didn't step up in key moments. I get it. But, dude, Bateman, this is your second year, man. Catch the fucking ball. That's why you're here, Sorry, excuse my French. At some point, guys got to step up. And young guys, too, right? It's a young man's league. You either step up or, there's going to be someone else. Odell Beckham, too. That signing, I think a lot of that was to get Lamar back. And say, hey, we're vested in doing this right. And Odell Beckham, when he's healthy, he is a heck of a player. But that is just like
banged up
when
right
he's
now.
Healthy, all the time, man. This guy just cannot stay on the field. And it made what they needed was DeAndre Hopkins, not him. They should have traded. I really think they should have done it. And I don't think they could because of the cap. And you're starting to see, this is what happens when. But, honestly, at the same time, I would still pay more money for DeAndre any day.
Yeah, he's better right now. He is.
Oh, yeah, 1,000% better. Just sorry. Odell, you were great you have a Super Bowl, you helped on a team, but that team was loaded at receiver already when you got
Yeah.
at it in that Super Bowl run. So
Cooper Cup was the man that year. He really was. It was
yeah,
wild.
hats off to the Steelers. They're always a team that they're gonna play tough, and they always find ways. It's not
Yeah,
luck,
I don't want to take.
find a way. They're tough. They're blue collar.
Exactly. I don't want to take nothing away from them because a lot of teams would have still lost that game. They wouldn't have took advantage of the mistakes. That's why they're a good team. You give them mistakes, they're going to beat you. And you did it. You left it. You can't leave them around. They will beat you. And again, George Pickens is a monster. I was very impressed by him. Not one of those balls that he was them tough catches. Not even close. His feet were in. Strong hands. Big moment, made the catch. It was like a microcosm of the game. He was ready. He was ready for that game. And he played hard. He kicked butt. He was impressive. Well, ready to go to the next game?
I guess.
Bengals at Cardinals. Again, the Cardinals really impressive. Their coaching job Gannon's done. Cannon's been really good. And then for the Bengals, they're starting to hit their stride. Joe looked a lot better, and Jamar Chase has been killing it, man. That dude, the last 2 games, good lord, and he's tremendous. He is the weirdest receiver I've ever seen, Tom, because he's not big, but he's physical. It's weird. He's quick and physical for how small. He's not like super small, but he's not like a big dude. He's just got that like running back kind of shiftiness to him, where he's hard to tackle. His balance is really good. I remember the crap in the preseason, like when he was a rookie. Oh, don't think he can catch. The dude hardly drops anything. So I mean, I don't know what was going on then. Maybe he was trying to mess with people. And the Cardinals, like you said, physicality. I love the way they play. They have an identity, and it's nice to see he knows how to use the weapons to coach. And Dobbs has played really well this year. He really has. Tremendous.
Yeah. No, yeah, exactly, man. I think the Bengals won a game they should. They realized, hey, you got to feed Jamar Chase. He's right. He's open a lot. So they kind of got that down. They started running the ball better. Definitely a game to help. But yeah, I mean, the Cardinals are no joke, man. They're establishing a culture. That's a team kind of like the Lions. You just got to establish your culture first. And once you have the leaders and the ability to hey, those leaders will uphold that culture, years down the road, it's going to pay dividends. So, yeah, the future is bright for Arizona. It's going to suck the next few years. They know it, but they made a really good move in the draft and not, and honestly, too, even with Kyler, you never know. He actually might end up being okay in this new offense. I'd be curious to see. I do think they're done with him because if I were them, I'd be trying to take some of these guys coming out, just start over.
I agree.
But, anyways, next.
Eagles at Rams. What do you think, Tom? I think the Eagles really, they're just kind of like steady right now. They're doing good. They're winning the games they got to win. Jalen's still very solid. Defense solid.
It was a really competitive game, and I got to give a lot of credit to LA Rams, man.
They're tough.
Years going to Sean McVay.
They're tough.
Some of these guys, I don't even know who they are. But
no, me either.
This is why I love Sean McVay. He gets the balls to his playmakers.
Yep.
Just thank you. It's not hard.
Puanuka, legend.
Thank you. Cooper Kupp. Hey, you're healthy. We're just gonna feed you.
Yep.
And they torched that corner, that poor slot corner.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That guy didn't stand a chance. And I'm like, every time I'm like, you're just giving this guy the inside. I'm like, how dumb are you?
That was bad. Yeah.
The sideline, maybe Matt misses a couple throws high. Man, over the middle, that's just easy money for Matt Stafford.
Oh yeah.
That defense, their defense got tired at the end because they don't have a lot of depth.
No.
But, and Philly they're rolling. They're a really good team, but I think teams have started to figure them out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And just because they figure it out doesn't mean that
you're bad.
It's just there's a solution, and you're not going to see all the time 40 to 3 beatdowns.
No, I think they're being smart. They're doing what you said. They're not like, I'm not going to do anything special against the Rams. We're going to save our big plays for like the teams we need. Like you said, they're not emptying the kitchen sink early. They're like, we're going to tough out these games. I'm sure they got some stuff ready. Sirianni's got some stuff ready for the big games. He's saving it all. It's smart. Don't put all your wrinkles out there now. The Rams, like you said, man, they like you said, coach of the year definitely. The NFC West has a lot of good coaches that are impressing me with the talent on these teams, and they're playing so hard and just efficiently. And like you said, just getting the ball to their playmakers. He's doing a great job of that. He really is.
It's
McVay, legend.
coaching, it's schemes, and it's culture.
Yep.
And those they have coaches, and that you're right. Again, Sean McVay, I love like one of the best, like at least in the past 5 years. It's one of my favorite. Like when San Francisco and LA play, it's always fun
Oh
to
yeah.
watch
Yep.
because that is truly
Chess
like you want to
match.
see two masterminds that
Yep.
same coaching tree. Just love to get after. It's fun. So
It's like kind of like
yeah,
good like gentleman's like battle too. Like there's no, it's not like real ill will or anything. Just nice, like you said, nice little chess match. What you got?
yeah,
What you got?
and it becomes a physical game
Yep.
because you know what those teams, those players want to.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it's fun, man. And you know what? Like I said, hats off to Sean
One,
McVay.
one
So,
more thing too.
like, seriously,
Jalen.
Coach of the Year.
One more thing. Jalen Carter looks really good. He is killing it. That man is throwing people out the way.
Dude, oh, yeah. No, I mean, dude, the fact, look, here, like in Georgia, that whole speeding thing and getting someone killed, he was in the car, it's definitely, like, super questionable. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Again, you're an athlete, and you basically got a pass where some of us might end up in prison.
Yes. I agree.
I don't condone any of that. That's trash. People make mistakes, but that's a pretty bad
It's a
mistake.
bad mistake, yeah.
But look at Georgia. He was a massive reason even why Jordan Davis was a beast, and also Devontae Wyatt. Like why again that Georgia defense for 2 years. I mean, last year when they won the title, that was arguably one of the best defenses in college football history. So, hey, everybody jokes that's Georgia North, but seriously, like they're smart. That's the new wave of the NFL too, right? You gotta have a depth on the D line, right? You have to have a couple dogs.
Absolutely.
And they just do such a good job. They can rotate 8 guys and have fresh guys. I mean, we'll get into like the Packers. One of my thoughts too on just defensive philosophies this day and age. To me, a 3-4 defense actually is not the way to go anymore.
You're gonna get the main stage too, because that's the last one we're doing. Next game we're gonna go into is the Jets at the Broncos. The Broncos. I think Tom, I'm gonna let you roll because I feel like the Broncos their problem is exactly what you were talking about with people that are just their coach, Sean Payton. Game's kind of passed them by. Good. I'm gonna give you the floor.
Yeah. And kind of, and not really. I think they found some like lightning in a bottle with some of the running backs. They did good things. I mean, they put up 21 points on that Jets.
Yeah, 31-21. They lost. Yeah.
Russell Wilson just is what he is. Sean. But I think. I mean, I'm just gonna summarize it this, man. Sean Payton, just stay humble, man. You've ran your mouth. He's ran his mouth a lot in his career. I will agree with Aaron on this, man. Just stop. I understand what Sean, look, Nathaniel Hackett, that was a god-awful job there. But you know what? That team was still in a better position than they are right now.
Their defenses fell apart.
Everybody.
Yeah.
In the trade, Nathaniel Hackett, look, I don't think he's a head coach. I think sometimes his name,
that's
because he has the Hackett name, he gets, but I'll say this, I think he's a lot better offensive coordinator than people give him credit for.
I agree.
Again, the Jets offense, I think when they invested in all Aaron Rodgers boys, and I think they're starting to see like, hey, this is where Green Bay got in trouble with like letting Aaron Rodgers be a GM, and now he's not there.
Yeah.
They better pray to God he comes back next year and he's even half of what he was.
Mm-hmm.
Alan Lazard's okay. Garrett Wilson's a beast. It was nice to actually see them use Breece Hall. Like, I don't know why
he's a great
you want to
player,
put that guy on a pitch count. Like, dude,
he's old school
young.
too. He's tough. I like him. A lot of Nick Chubb vibes.
Dude, at this point, that guy should get 30 carries a game.
Yes.
At this point,
Yes.
use the guy.
Like you said, their
Garrett
defense
Wilson,
is
They
good.
just can't connect to him deep right now, which is bizarre to me. Like, why they can't. But again, when you roll out the corpse of Randall Cobb as your slot receiver and you aren't playing Nicole Hardman or anything like that, I just got a question.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's where I start. Well, again, it's this conflict and tension between, hey, you have a veteran and Aaron Rodgers trusts this guy and he can do the right things, but again, at the end of the day, the NFL is a young man's game and speed and those things matter. And Randall Cobb, I love the guy. Like Randall Cobb's one of my favorite Packers ever, and it sucks, but that's just reality. It's just he's like call a spade, but anyways, like go the Jets. That was a big win for them, and it was kind of nice to see. I'd have to laugh at Robert Saleh. Stay humble was his answer to
that was funny.
Sean Payton, because I agree, man. Sean Payton, just at this point, you're in over your head. And I think he can turn it around. I believe in it, but at this point, if I were him, I'd just shut my mouth and work on just making this team better in any way you can, whether that's moving players or just figure out what you have and what you want to keep around. And it is what it is.
Tom is more optimistic than me. My problem with him is, you just said it, I don't think he's humble enough. You need to self-diagnose your problems, and I don't think he's doing that because he's got a big ego. He needs to sit there. Your defense has dropped off drastically. Okay, buddy, you got to figure out what's going on there. Fire your D coordinator, whatever it is, scheme. I don't see that with him. Every week it's the same thing. Every team's scoring like 30 on them. You guys got to do better. I mean, Russell Wilson's playing. If he played this way last year, that team would have been pretty good. Okay, because he's okay. He's doing pretty good. He's a pretty good quarterback right now. Your defense is the reason you're losing. It's regressed ridiculously. It's terrible. It's not good. I like Sean Payton, but like you said, humility is a funny thing, because when you have it, you realize what you do wrong. When you don't, you're like him. You sit there. It's not my fault. You got to self-diagnose, buddy. Figure out what's going on, because that team it's wild how drastic their defense has changed. It's so crazy, dude. It's like a completely different team.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think they have the personnel they think they have to a point. I think year to year.
Oh yeah, players play better or worse. I understand.
I mean, look, Randy Gregory leaving. Like, I don't know why that everyone was like, oh my gosh, San Francisco made this trade. Come on, guys. Randy Gregory, what has he done in his NFL
He's
career
okay.
other than be a problem?
He's okay. I mean, what are we talking about?
Let's just stop it with that guy, please.
I agree with you. That was a stupid signing, period. Why'd you give him so much money anyway?
Well, no, I mean, they had to. They didn't have any debt. When you lose Nick Chubb, or they traded
Bradley
Nick
Chubb. Bradley Chubb, yeah.
You're just seeing again. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, the front office, like, the whole Russell Wilson thing was just
dumb,
ridiculous.
Yeah. That was not a good
from
idea.
my perspective as a Packer fan, like, man, I wish he would have gotten that haul for Aaron Rodgers. I wouldn't have cared. Man, at least at Green Bay, you could set up the future.
Yeah.
But, look, Denver, you're trying to recreate magic in a bottle with what Peyton, but Peyton was different.
Yeah.
It was just so different. You didn't have to give away everything. You
could
continue to add talent, and you brought in a veteran that can establish your culture. You brought in a coach that knew what Denver's all about, and Gary Kubiak. It's just, anyways, it is what it is. It's just, yeah.
I wish him luck. I hope.
Not humble. I agree with that.
I hope they do make a lot of changes, and I agree with you that he has the potential to make him good. I just want to see more accountability. Is my problem. Like you said, he's over here running his mouth. It's like, dude, just play football. Before, you didn't run he was always arrogant, but he never had like that. He never ran his mouth like he's been doing. Like, bro, just do your thing.
Remember what the coaching tree he and Bill Belichick come from. Bill Parcells. When you go read Bill Parcells' story and understand it, it took him years to connect with the players and the Giants and that success he had.
Absolutely.
But he was a Jersey guy that, Jersey guys are passionate and they're a little fiery, right? Mm-hmm. They'll run their mouth. They don't care. It's just, that's that nature. And, when you come into a situation and you don't really can connect with these players, I mean, Russell Wilson, again, you have to teach Russell Wilson how to be a leader. I don't think he really is, and you hear what's happened in Seattle more and more that comes out, and you just kind of go, hey, that's actually probably amazing what Pete Carroll was able to do.
Yeah, because all those players are not the biggest fan of Russ. It's true.
Yeah, but anyways, let's
go.
I'm done with Sean Payton. That thing's gonna be a dumpster fire all
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
Hopefully, Green Bay can actually like figure that out
Uh,
after their bye week and not play down to that team's
mhm.
level and beat them. But we'll get into that.
No, let me just real quick one last thing. 34-7. Sean Payton remembers 2000. We all do. Anyway,
Okay.
Cowboys at 49ers is I mean Chiefs at Vikings is the next game. The Chiefs look like the Chiefs. They're kind of like remind me of the Eagles where they're just letting stuff go. They're just doing their thing, you know. They're kind of like going through the season real slow, taking their time. The Swifties are happy again. But I will say that what the refs are doing is ridiculous from the standpoint of you're making it look really bad. All these penalties where you're with the Chiefs where you're waiting, just either throw the flag or it's so weird. I don't I know there's no collusion or any of this crap they're talking about, any script. Okay, all joking aside, but it just looks bad. You don't throw the flag after the. I think that was a penalty against Sauce Gardner, but why did you wait till he picked the ball off? Please, just do it right away. Just tell your referees to do a better job. That's all I'm saying. And the Vikings, they're a mess. Kirk Cousins, Kurt, it's Kirk, right? Kirk Cousins. Listen, buddy, if he gets traded, someone's gonna get a decent quarterback. That team, they look like I said, they look kind of fringy, like kind of old, kind of young. They don't know where they're going. It's kind of weird. I don't know if they want to pull the plug yet. So, what do you think, Tom?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if I'm them, I would want to pull the plug. Just like I mean, being non-biased either. Seriously, um, it hasn't worked with Kirk in terms of just playoff wins and things like that, right? I think he's a really good quarterback statistically. He can do a lot of good things for you, but the guys getting killed behind that offensive line, number one, they just, again, they're such a pass happy. They don't want to establish the run. They traded. Dalvin Cook needed to go. He was getting old.
I agree.
I still think they could have done a lot with him. I don't know, but um, Addison was a great draft pick. He's going to be really good.
Mm-hmm.
Jefferson's an unbelievable player.
Oh, of course. I mean,
Kevin O'Connell right now, I think he's just trying to do with what he has. I mean, defensively, you think all you have left is Harrison Smith. Kendricks is gone. Barr's gone. Yep. Like those defenses that used to built to stop Aaron Rodgers, that's all gone. And it's a lot of youth and.
Well, you just named a couple people too that are like really solid players for their career. And like you said, Harrison Smith's kind of like the legacy guy that he's had a really good career. It's kind of like getting there where you're like, he's the guy you're going to keep till he retires. And I get that part of it, but there's a lot of like veteran, like decent players. They're not great that you have on this team where it's like you can let them go if you want to go young. But right now you're kind of in that limbo and it's weird.
Yeah, I think they made a lot of good young picks, and some of that youth just needs to step up. And they need to start. I think there's guys that they need to hold accountable too. And the turnover thing is just bizarre. Like they just cannot.
Yeah, it's wild.
That's been one of the craziest things I've ever seen. But I mean, the Chiefs. Yeah, the Chiefs. Everyone keeps saying, "Well, they're starting slow," and they expected it. I think this is who the Chiefs are, and you're starting to see. This is like the 2015 Packers, where. You paid Patrick Mahomes all this money, and again, deserved. I'm not questioning that. What I'm getting into is more like we start talking finances, salary cap. The salary cap's real in the NFL, and you cannot pay people.
No.
And you are seeing this drop off in talent. They have a great offensive line. Pacheco is just an athlete. He's not really an every down back in the NFL. Just really good at getting him the ball and doing really unique things with him. Man, if Travis Kelce goes down, they're screwed because everyone's realizing more and more and more. And even since that Tyreek trade of like, this offense has always been because Kelce is so dang good.
Well, you even said MVS. He gets open, but his hands are very questionable. They've been his whole career.
He's very inconsistent. And like when he got all that money, I loved it because he was a really fun Packer. And he deserved it. He worked really, really hard, and I think he got a lot of flack when he didn't need to. But he is what he is, right? That's it. He is what he is.
Yeah. Flash, but like the substance ain't a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. But let's go to that.
Let me just give you a Pacheco. I really like him. He is a Chach kind of player. He is a hard-nosed running back. I love how he runs. Really fit.
Pride of Rutgers, man.
Ray Rice, Don't forget him. I know the bad ending, but great player. Just
Greg
saying.
Schiano, man. Anybody go look what the Rutgers has been doing this year in college football. They lost to Wisconsin last week, but man, dude, that team is. Greg Schiano has always been a phenomenal coach, phenomenal culture guy. Like, I always hype that guy up. He's awesome.
Yeah.
I wish it would have worked for him in the NFL, and it didn't. But man, as a head coach, but man, dude, like, it's pretty cool what he's doing at Little Rutgers.
Oh yeah,
And,
it's
like,
fun. It's fun that he went
players
back
they
too.
got there are pretty solid, man.
It's
So,
fun that he went back too. It's kind of cool. Oh yeah. Oh, I want to talk about this because I got beef with 11, bro. I got a beef with 11. Okay, bro. Michael Parsons. Cowboys at 49ers. Cowboys lost 42-10. Michael Parsons. I did not see you that whole game, buddy. Listen. And you over here getting mad about a man wearing a T-shirt that says F the Cowboys, right? You didn't stop him. You did nothing. If he would have had 3 sacks or something in that game, I would have been like, all right, I see what he's saying because he's like, I balled. I'm gonna be there, dude. You're running your mouth. Where were you this time, y'all? Your quarterback was like, yeah, I took offense with that. It pissed me off. He played like he couldn't. He played like dog. You know what? He played terrible. Dak threw 3 picks. I mean, what are we doing? Your team wanted this game, and then they didn't win. Your team talked way more before this game, got beat, and then you talking smack after the game. They ain't afraid of you. They don't. That is the one thing I can tell you. They've beaten you 3 times in a row and physically beat your team up. They're not afraid of you. They ain't never going to be afraid of you. Okay.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I had to get that
Yeah.
out. I hate when players do
No,
that. Who are you scaring? No one's afraid of you. Uh,
well,
you're.
no one should be afraid of Dallas, right? Let's just start with that. Dak Prescott is what he is.
He is.
I'm
He
super
is.
surprised. Again, now everyone's understanding why Mike McCarthy is what he is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Their
That's
offense is very
fair.
bland.
It's bland.
It's West Coast. Hey, we run curls. We run little quick screens, right? And it doesn't work this day in the NFL. It worked great last year because they had a running game, but like they just, I don't know, man. Like I actually liked what Kellen Moore was doing. It was way more creative,
I
like
agree.
West Coast style offense. I think Mike McCarthy's trying to use a scapegoat for that team. Just Dallas
Yeah.
being Dallas. Look, their defense. What's his? Dan Quinn's a cover 3 dude. He's not running that. Like, the 49, I mean, with Micah Parsons, he's small, right? He's this really good athlete.
Yeah.
And honestly, he's great in space. When you line him up, though, to have to be, when he gets blocked, he's nothing.
Oh.
Yeah. Look, and he's a good player. I'm not knocking him, but, like, you can punch that guy in the mouth. He's not, Charles Haley.
Dude, I think he's a fantastic player. I think he's only going to get better. I think he's that good. I think he is that guy. Will probably be that guy. My problem is, why I hate that. Why are you running your mouth? What are you talking about? That dude had 3 touchdowns. Like, what are we doing? You did nothing. Like, you can't do that. It looks so bad. Where's it? I know, and nothing's gonna say this. One of his teammates definitely, when he came in the building the next day, was like, "Bro, what are you talking about? Why are you giving them more bulletin board material? Because you just basically said, yeah, that was nothing. And you know what they're saying right now? Oh, I hope we play you again. Did you see Debo on the one show? He was like, fine, we'll hang 50 on them then or something. I'm like, see, that's what you're doing. You reversed it, right? You gave them more bulletin board material because now they're like, we didn't handle you enough. We gonna bring it again.
Whoever number 14 was on their defense, I don't know if that's Casey or something, dude. That guy got turned around. He was
Yeah.
like what I've noticed this year in the NFL is all these defenses are hyper aggressive and
Yep.
they're telling their safeties to bite on everything.
Undisciplined.
And
It's,
yeah, just like really like not using their eyes. Just like, well, I saw this on film. That's what happened to the Packers with Darnell Savage when they gave up 2 big plays, him and Rasul Douglas. It's like there's a difference between playing aggressive and being smart and just being like, oh, I watched film, so they're gonna do this. There's a high probability.
yeah, but you got to understand they self-scout. You don't think they self-scout?
Bite on this curl and leave this guy wide open.
Well, here's the other thing I do. Their coach, you know how their coach is. You don't think he self-scouts. You don't think he was like, hey, they're going to think we do this here, and we're not going to do that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you got to realize that.
Yeah, Kyle Shanahan, his whole offense is based on 4 plays, but they have 800 variations by play.
Yeah.
So they confuse the shit out of you, and that's what you saw. And it's just like, guys, it's just like it's again, Mike McCarthy. This is what he is,
I
man.
agree with you.
I
That was
love
a
him.
coaching masterclass. I
I
mean,
that team. Everyone needs to just stop it with Dallas. They are what they are. They always have been. They're always going to be because I think they're a solid team that can be relevant.
Greenlaw and Warner deserve a lot of credit too. Fred Warner is really good, and Greenlaw's
Yeah.
solid too. They both play really good defense. Fred Warner, what he does not get credit for, that man is very, like you were just talking about. You could tell he watches film. Very smart. Like when he rushed on the one play where he got the sack, jumped up, got his hands up so he couldn't throw the ball, then made the tackle. Did both things correct. The guy makes plays all over the field. He's tremendous.
Dude, it's not even film watching. I think a lot of it too is they play against an offense that every day. Like I'm telling you, like I don't know why these coaches, they always say go back to fundamentals. Do what Kyle Shanahan's doing. You should have 10 variations of the same formation, of the same play from the same formation, different plays. That's again. I don't know, like what you don't need all these crazy formations and motions and stuff. Some of that gets added into but they just like. I love what they're doing in the run game in San Francisco too. Just amazing, like they're basically building like it's almost like running superpower in like a wing T offense.
Yeah.
They get guys pulling and building just this massive wall of humans.
That
can just again they can get on a block and actually hold it. And it's fun to watch, man. And Brock Purdy, like everyone, that guy's really good. I don't know if he could throw it 50 times a game.
Can I defend him though in this respect? Yeah. I agree with you, but can I defend you in this respect? Not a lot of quarterbacks can throw the ball 50 times and you'll win a lot of games. So Tom's not even taking a shot at him. He's just saying you still want him to be in rhythm with the offense, like him running it. You want him to orchestrate it more than be the main focus.
Yeah, no, again, when he wins a title and things like that, I will give him then okay. And I think they can,
absolutely.
I honestly don't know if Philly could go in there. I think Philly's offense would struggle with that defense.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I agree.
I think Philly's defense, their back end would get crushed at some point by what Brock Purdy, like that passing offense, but. No, dude, Brock Purdy they're doing fun things, man. That's all, and again, a lot of that scheme and coaching, and again, it's kind of cool the machine they have. But also, everyone wants to get on these guys for like the Trey Lance trade and just like, wow, it was terrible. But you know what? You got to respect them in this regard. They said this ain't working. Let's give Trey Lance an opportunity to go figure something out somewhere else, and also. You know what? We'll just own up. We made a mistake. It happens. There's no perfect science to it. We were a little concerned about Jimmy G, and somehow we landed on Brock Purdy. So
hey, they did the hard thing, and they said, hey, this 7th rounder can play. We're gonna go with him. And look, it's turned out 7th rounder. The Mr. Irrelevant can play. We're rolling right now. Not only that, I like what you said. The first point is the key to this. They're a stand-up organization because they really gave him that they're looking out for Trey Lance too. They're like, hey man. We want you to be successful too, and I think he can. He absolutely has the skill set.
Honestly, if they could, if Mike McCarthy could develop him, dude, I would try to, seriously, Dak Prescott. I'm so tired of watching him. It's 3rd and 8, 6-yard curl.
Yeah.
They don't You have CeeDee Lamb, Gallup. You have.
They have some players.
Ferguson. They have so many weapons that are veteran weapons. What in the world is going on there? Where it's we're just gonna dink and dunk it.
No, I agree.
Shoot, even Green Bay, they did more than that.
Yeah.
and a lot of that's not on Mike McCarthy. That's actually on Dak. Because I think Dak is so worried about throwing picks instead of just playing. When he was a rookie, the kid just played.
Oh, yeah.
They also had one of the best running games in the NFL.
And lines. That line was filthy the first year.
But,
all right.
Anyways, the Cowboys are what they are. This is my stand-up podium time.
Tom, take a couple breaths, okay? Because I'm gonna get out the way. I'm gonna like you did for me. I'm just gonna move. The last game is our Monday nighter. It was the Packers at the Raiders. The Raiders won 17-13. Tom, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Yeah, on the Raiders side, you got to give him credit. All right, number one, Max Crosby is just a beast. He's. He may impress him sometimes, some of the stuff he does after the whistle, but you know, that's just his game style. And dude, he is a just unbelievable player. Love him, blue collar, just gets after it. He deserved every like bit of hype he got after that game. Josh McDaniels, man, all I know is I think Mark Davis has his like eye on him of like, I think this is a bad hire because they almost lost that game. Like, why just not run the ball and get a first down? Green Bay's defense was stopping you.
Yeah, that was wild.
Hey, let's kick a field goal and it doink off a 52-yard field goal where it bizarre, man. Like, just, dude, if I'm a Raiders fan, I'm like, this is just, it's the same thing over and over. It's the definition of insanity with that organization and what they do. Also, like, why are you not getting the ball to Devontae? For the love of God, get it to the best receiver in the NFL, and they probably would have won. Like, Las Vegas would have won like 35-7. I'm telling you, it just made zero sense in my eyes. All right, let's go into my beloved Packers. So, number one, I am so tired of the fan base just destroying Matt LaFleur, the GM, Jordan Love. All right, number one. Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre are both 2-3 in their first year as a starter with Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers actually in the 5th game when they played Tampa threw 3 picks. He did throw 3 touchdowns, but like very similar stats and track, right? And what you're seeing with Jordan Love is his progression's kind of gotten slow because I think the game's getting a little fast. People are figuring him out. There's also a lot of problems that he cannot establish the run, and you just see how much Aaron Jones means to that offense. A.J. Dillon is literally, hey, it's 3 yards, a cloud of dust. Green Bay's offense is really predicated on getting the ball outside, getting linebackers to have to respect their speed. There's no speed out there at the running back position right now. Sorry, A.J. Dillon, I love you, but that pick is a little bizarre at this point now when you look at it.
Yeah, so, not working out so well.
Jordan Love will be fine. He actually, when you watch the tape, he's making right reads. Dude, early in that game, no one was open. And I kind of go like, you know, the thing I've noticed they're really struggling with is the youth. You know, it's showing on film. There's 2 guys in the same position on the field, like 2 receivers in the same location. You're like, what's going on? Why is that even a thing? You know, this isn't JV.
Right.
You know, they're tight ends in the run game. They're 2 rookie tight ends, man. They are struggling. And it was something I think a lot of fans were a little frustrated with is why can't we get Mercedes Lewis back as just a veteran presence that you can run the ball. I don't care if he's, you know, just a run blocker at this point. Like, seriously, like, that is actually killing them. On film, there's one where Musgrave has to pull and block one of the D linemen, and he just gets chucked out of the way, and so they're running a counter, and, like, John Runyon Jr. just gets shocked. He's like, why is this guy here? You know, and you're just like, this can't happen. Like, you're noticing, like, the reps are going away, and they're actually putting this other third-string tight end in because he can block better. So, like, people got to be patient and understand that this team is, like, they're playing the youth because they're like, we're going to see what we got. The cap is real. That happened. Offensively, it's going to be like this all year. I think my only concern is I just want to see Jordan Love have confidence. I think he is. I still think he's fine. I don't know why the fan base is just like, it's over. You know, I guess those aren't real Packer fans, and they just, you know, if you want to go root for the Chiefs or the 49ers, just please go. Like, support this team. That's all I ask. This organization has been very successful for 30-plus years in my lifetime.
My thing
Please
is,
stop.
my thing is,
Please stop with the ridiculous criticism.
No. I agree with you. I agree with you. I think it's the Raiders. I would look at the Raiders, man. They're a mess. Okay, the Packers are just a young team. They're going through growing pains. It's okay, like you said. Favre and Rodgers, 2-3 as well, had their struggles their first season. It happens. It really does. It's just how it is. I mean,
the thing I'm really not happy with, and is now actually just becoming, it's comical. Now, look, Joe Barry, I understand your philosophy of what you're trying to do. Teams are just picking on the way you line up. You know, you run, and I will get into this philosophy. I'm not sure and truly convinced that 3-4 works in the NFL anymore. You almost need it because you end up going to a sub packagery of 2 down linemen and 2 outside linebackers. It's ended up being like a 4-1, 4-2 defense, right? Yeah. 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers, and you play a cover 2 shell because that's how that's how it's done anymore.
Yeah.
Right. You see teams that run success with that. Green Bay will try to line up in this bear front because of the personnel they have, and then they'll have Preston Smith as like an end, and then they'll have maybe another linebacker that they might drop or whatever. It ends up being a 4 down front, right? When they blitz, but literally in this game because the team can't. So it's so comical, man. Even like Joe Buck and everybody, Peyton Manning and the Manningcast, they're laughing at it because it's just absolutely the most ridiculous thing you could see. Preston Smith was lined up 10 yards, lined up over Devontae Adams, and he gave up a 17-yard gain. This guy weighs 275 pounds.
Yeah, that's...
and it's because they lined up in 2 wide receivers, tight end, fullback set, right? And so then Green Bay comes out in their base personnel. And what they did is they put them to the same side, and Green Bay plays all zone. They cannot play man coverage for why? I don't know. But in that situation, it should be check to man. There's no reason.
Yeah. Oh, no. Absolutely.
In the world, you should ever have Preston Smith on that guy. In this day and age, they will run a quick slant, and that's it. There's just Jimmy G, his game is, hey, I get the ball out quick, so let's just give him a massive seam. Look, their defense only gave up 17 points with a ton of injuries, but it's scheme at this point. And, like, Matt LaFleur, if you do not get rid of this guy and go actually upgrade this offseason, I will truly question your vision and honestly if you have a set or not. Because you can, or you're just trying to keep your boy around. That's what's killing me. In all seriousness, it is beyond that type of stuff needs to stop. And whether it's you remove the guy that's calling it, or he just learns, I don't want to ever see it again. If I do, you are gone.
Okay.
Right? But what's crazy is this happened with Mike Pettin. And that's my biggest concern, man. So I think things will be fine. I do trust in Matt LaFleur. I think he's a very good head coach. I think they have a lot of good things going for them. But, some of these things, it's dude, this is just the definition of insanity, bro. All you have to tell Joe Barry is if it happens again, we're done, and it'll stop. You're the head coach, man. That is your job to be or call timeout and yell up to the booth, what in the world are you doing? Stop it. If you guys agree on that philosophy at all, then I think you both should be gone. I can't believe that anybody in their right mind thinks that is a good philosophy. So, and then the other one that bothered me, the last thing too on their defense, when it was second and goal from the 12-yard line. I think the Raiders had a 9-yard line. Rudy Ford is in the end zone, and there's no one lined up over Jacoby Myers. And so they're on film, they're well, I think they're trying to drop Van Ness. And I'm for the love of God, put another corner, tell the safety to play man and get down there, run cover 3 something. Be aggressive for the love of God in the end zone. We have 0 red zone defense, yet we have 7 first-round picks on that defense. I'm pretty sure they can, this is the NFL, right? Play man, send pressure, force Jimmy G to just make a heck of a throw.
Yeah, not only that, because you're in the red zone, they can only throw so far. Yeah. There's no, you don't have to worry about people going over your head. There's nowhere to go.
Yeah. Those are the things from my perspective of just why, look, Joe Barry, I don't like to speak about guys getting fired, but dear Lord, come on.
Yeah, I understand.
That is defense 101.
Yeah.
And I saw it on the field, I'm that's a touchdown. And it was, because I'm I just run him on a slant. If I'm any team, that's all I'm doing. I am checking to a slant every time. I don't care any part of the field, and just paper cut that defense down the field because of the way they align. They refuse to get in man coverage. Force these quarterbacks to make throws. Please.
I agree.
So, you're not playing Patrick Mahomes every week. So
No, no, no.
it's just, and then you watch our offense and teams actually press our receivers and make it hard on them. And then you're like, well, that's nice. That's a nice concept. I wish we could do that. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm just as frustrated as y'all, but I'm also like, I want to support the players out there. I do think there are some coaching things that need to get better or change, but it's a growing season, and I think you're going to see in the off season some things change. So, not necessarily Matt LaFleur, but I think defensively you may see somebody go bye-bye. I can't believe that that's going to last much longer. So.
No, no, no. I agree with you, and it's a young team or make mistakes, but also like you said, some of that stuff's inexcusable. I totally agree with you, but I do think your fan base should support them. Look, my team didn't play great. You guys know that. I'm not jumping off the ship. They're gonna be fine. We got a long season to go. Let's see how the Packers turn out. If they're thriving at the end of the year, I think that's a great position to be in next year. Look at the Raiders though, like Tom said, they're a mess, and I'm not hating on the Raiders. They're all over the place. That team is so dysfunctional and wild. I don't know what to do with them. Okay, at least the Packers, I see the vision. Okay, and they're just only gonna get better in my opinion. Okay, the Raiders, I don't know what you're doing. You got like a kind of old quarterback. You got a kind of old secondary with a good. I like the young corner though. Robinson can play. That pick at the end was impressive. That was a hell of a play. And the dude's 5'9". He jumped like 10 feet in the air. Go watch the replay. His legs were like like five.
I do got to say another thing though. A lot of people are getting on Christian Watson for not coming back for that ball. This guy was streaking towards the end zone and had to stop on a
Oh
dive.
no, no, that ain't his fault.
Dude, Jordan Love was getting pressured because again, schematically, and I will say this too about the Packers. I think some fans need to realize that we just don't have the Joes you think we do at times. Just being really just be honest and critical, even defensively, right? Like I think Green Bay has the two worst safeties in the NFL. Darnell Savage, I embarrassed sometimes. He's even out there. He is. It just sometimes it looks like he's just playing and goofing around. He doesn't attack the ball and try to pick it like he did at Maryland. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
And it's really frustrating to watch because I'm like, dude, that you're getting paid a lot of money to do just like I saw Jonathan Owens out there. It looked 10 times better, and I'm like, at least on an eye test, I'd rather just have it look better. And that's a first-round pick that, again, an accountability culture thing. Like, hey, if that's how you want to play, whatever, man. But yeah, people need to just give this team a break. It doesn't mean you can't be critical, but you don't have to bash them. Remember, you only get 17, 18 weeks of Packer football this year.
Yeah.
Enjoy it, because then you get to the long ass off season where there's nothing to talk about.
No, you're right.
Just
you're right.
enjoy it. It's football season. It might be frustrating. Could be worse.
No, you're right. You're right. But I agree with you. Hey, we'll see how the season goes. But thank you guys for watching. Like the video, subscribe for more content, and this is in our humble opinion. Tom, you want to say bye?
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.